Hello, people of YouTube. My name is Steve Gray. Thank you for watching. Today we're going to be talking about My Hero Academia Season 6, Episode 18. This was a good one. We are definitely getting a build-up again of what is to come for the future. We got to see Deku with all of the other users of One for All. -2. There was two people facing the back, and I'm not really sure why. Kind of weird. We got to see all several users. Um, Basically, they're saying that this is a bad time for this, um, but they want to see kind of what Deku's reaction is. This one user right here, Hikage Shinomori, if I'm saying that correctly. We learned that the cracks in his face appeared after having One for All for a long time. We learned that the secret is One for All can only be passed to quirkless people. And the reason being is because when you have multiple quirks, it affects your body. So his age actually accelerated to the point where he died of old age at 40 because his body could not handle having multiple quirks. The reason that All Might didn't have to deal with that, and he had the quirk longer than he did, is because All Might never had a quirk to begin with. So it's essentially, like when you have, they compare it to having a full glass. So when you have a quirk, your glass is already full. So adding to it, you're just overflowing that glass. However, if you do not have a quirk, the glass is completely empty, so you have plenty of room to fill that glass up, is kind of what they compared it to. And that is kind of the danger. So they're thinking that because that this day and age, um, that pretty much everyone has a quirk, quirkless people are almost extinct. I mean, besides All Might and Deku, I don't think we have ever met anyone in the entire show besides Ragdoll, but she got her powers taken away from her. She did originally have a quirk. Um, that do not have quirks. So it's kind of interesting that there's a good possibility Deku may be the last user of One for All, being that he is essentially the only one that we know of that does not have a quirk. It's very rare to be born without one. To be born without one, you're essentially not normal because everybody has one. Um, he also talked about how he realized he was not, he was not going to be able to defeat All for One. So he took the time to, train up, master the quirk as much as he could, and try to build it up for the next user. What's interesting also about All Might is, his consciousness is there, but, he's not physically there. I think that's because he's still alive. They said it's kind of weird, being that his consciousness is there, but he's not physically there within the quirk. They're saying that that's probably because he truly mastered it. He was the only one. He was the first one to not actually have a quirk. In the group of, I think there's like nine. I want to say there's I think Deku's the ninth user, so I want to say eight, potentially eight other users. We also hear, All Might saying that he can feel what's happening in there. He can't like physically hear it, but he can feel it. And this is kind of what I was talking about with the full cup thing. Deku is actually able to talk this time around. Before he was not able to talk, but he is this time. I'm forgetting her name, All Might's master. She is basically saying, do you think you will have the ability to kill Tomaru? And Deku actually compares Tomaru to other villains. He said, that he feels like in deep down from all of the hatred, Tomaru is actually just this scared little boy. And he doesn't really know what he's going to do right now. Is he going to kill him if he has to? Is he going to try to save him? He thinks he wants to save him, but at the same time, I think he realizes that if it comes down to it, he will kill him if he needs to. He has to do the right thing inevitably. And, they start crying about it. She starts crying about it. All Might starts crying about it. Essentially, trying to use this power to save them. Basically she's saying, it's impossible to forgive him or even try to empathize with him, rather. just because of what he's done. You know, he did terrible things, but they're all kind of happy that, you know, like he's still willing to attempt to try at the very least. He said, you know, all of these other villains that he's spoken to, he hasn't felt that way, but with Shigaraki, he has. You know, he thinks that if he can get him away from All for One, that maybe, you know, they can get him kind of back on the right path to a certain extent, even though there's no way. I mean, I don't think that's ever going to happen. But at the same time, you know, would be in jail forever, essentially. I mean, he's killed hundreds of people, if not thousands of people at this point. So there's no way he's not going to jail forever. You know, they're talking about, you know, we got ourselves a good apprentice, things along those lines. Then we have Best Jeanist and Hawks. We kind of go to them. They want more information about One for All, and then All Might basically says, "Yeah, I'm just going to give you the information. You know, there's no point holding this back really anymore. Um, this is what needs to be done." We have a conference with Hawks, Best Jeanist, and Endeavor. You know, basically confirming, you know, Dabi is his son. You know, Hawks feels ashamed that he had to kill twice, but in that situation, he thought that was the best thing that could happen, because if he didn't do that, then Twice could use his quirk, essentially create unlimited multiples, and make the damage even worse than it was. There was a woman kind of yelling at him, you know, saying all of this, and he was like, "Well, take that up with me," you know, because there's you know, essentially they're doing the best they can with what they have. They're allowing the parents to stay at the high schools. We're seeing all of these other, you know, heroes kind of getting ready to go fight again. It'll be interesting to see Mirko, being that she had a couple of limbs were completely wrecked. And then we kind of end the episode with Deku basically saying he's leaving UA because he thinks he's putting all of his classmates in danger. And, you know, Uraka, which I'm assuming she loves him. I don't know. You know, it's a shonen anime, so you got to figure that if there is a relationship, that's not going to happen to like the last 3 episodes of the show, which we're definitely not seeing that anytime this season. Probably not next season either. She's saying, you know, like, who can you rely on as someone with superpowers and someone with this big burden? You know, who can you rely on? We then kind of end with Deku putting his mask on. This is kind of like a new mask. We actually haven't seen him with the kind of bunny ears, if you will. I know the ears were kind of more representative of All Might's hair, but it looks like he has. I think this is Gran Torino's cape around his neck. Gran Torino is alive, by the way. We did learn that. So it looks like Gran Torino is fine. You know, he's just got to heal up, and he'll be okay. We then get a preview for next episode. It looks like it's going to be Deku versus Muscular. That's going to be interesting to see because Deku has grown a lot, become significantly more powerful. So it'll be interesting to see if he kind of one-shots him. You know, last time he had to essentially completely destroy his arm to stop him. So being that he has a lot more control over his multiple quirks, I should say now, it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. And if he ends up going back in jail, because you're talking, I think that was season 1, so you're talking several years ago. You know, this has been pretty much every single year we've gotten this. For like the past 6 years or so, I believe. They have, you know, the 24 episodes every single year. So it'll definitely be interesting to see if they fight again. And I really just want to see him one-shot him, because I think that's exactly how that's going to pan out. It'll be interesting to see that play out if it does. What I think is probably going to happen is we're just going to see, you know, we're going to see some build up of him talking to All Might in next episode, and then he's probably just going to be out there taking down a bunch of villains. At least that's my guess. You know, I think just that fight with Shigaraki. I really want to know what's going on with his arms. You know, like, is he still going to be able to use his arms? It seems like he is. You know, I mean, he's in a full body cast, but it looks like next episode he's healed up and good to go and kind of running away. You know, he's no longer in UA, so he's probably just going to be, you know, kind of like I guess vigilante, you would say. He is licensed, though. He has his provisional license, so I guess technically he can still do it. So maybe not vigilante. But it looks like things are taking a deeper turn because this is the first time we've actually seen him go out and fight with using this mask to a certain extent to kind of hide his identity. Um, Maybe that's so people don't know who he is. I'm not really sure how that's going to pan out. But we will see you next episode. Until then, hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, leave a like, comment what you want to see for future anime and cartoon related content. I plan on doing Don't Toy with You, Miss Nagatora. That'll be you'll get that shorter video tomorrow. And then at some point, I want to talk about all of the Rick and Morty drama. I wanted to get all of the information out there first before I made a video on it. So there'll probably be a third video this week. I know I've only really been doing 2 videos a week since the 2 shows. But, you got Dr. Stone coming out at some point, um, among other shows. So that'll be back. I think Ray Zero's coming back too, so I'll probably do that as well. Even though there was a couple episodes I really did not like in season 2. Felt like it was getting dragged out way too long. But there you have it. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.